पार्वती पतये गोविंदनाम संकीर्तनम
एकांतो मातुलो यस्य जननी सर्वमंगला जनकशंकरो देवः तं वंदे कुंजराननम श्यामवल्ली समालीढं विरिञ्चिपुरभास्वरं मार्गबन्ध्वा वयं तेजः तनोतु विमलां धियं श्रीमत्क्षीरतरङ्गिणी तटगते पुण्ये विरिञ्चे पुरे नित्यं सन्निहितं किला कलयितुं क्षीराभिषेकादरं श्रीगारुत्मकवल्लिका सहचरं मार्गे सहायं नृणाम् श्रीमद्दीक्षितवंशदैवतवरं संचिन्तये शङ्करम् इदं च रङ्गं त्यजतामिहाङ्गं न विद्यतेऽङ्गय्यदिवास्तु चाङ्गं पाणौ रथाङ्गं शयने भुजङ्गं याने विहङ्गं चरणे च गाङ्गं कावेरी तट शोभिरङ्गनगर प्राग्भागजम्बूतरुप्रान्तोद्यन्मणि सद्मनि स्थितमधः जम्बूतरो स्थायिनः दूते भार्चितरङ्गनाथ वरदं भक्त्याखिलाण्डेश्वरी पूजा निर्मित सज्जलाकृतिधरं श्रीजम्बुनाथं भजे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरम् उमाकान्ते रमाकान्ते येषामासीन्मतिः समा नमामि दीक्षितेन्द्रांस्तान्नयशक्तविशारदान् अप्पय्य दीक्षितेन्द्रान् अशेष विद्यागुरूनहं वन्दे यत्कृतिबोधा बोधौ विद्वद विद्वद्विभाजकोपाधि Namaskaram. In the previous class, we discussed about Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra taking his residence in Vellore, and we also studied how Dikshitendra began to undergo tortures at the hands of one particular court pandita. So we are still in Tarangam 3 and by today Tarangam 3 will get over. So the 8th topic in Tarangam 3 of K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal's Dikshitendra Vijayam is Pushtikaranam. That is to impart a very chronic and serious skin disease. So after this topic, the next topic, the topic 9 is Vishatirthapanam. So this is Dikshitendra made to drink a Tirtha Prasadam that was mixed with poison. Says K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal, Athaikada Thathacharya Nishkashataihi Archakam Vashikritya Udhameva Adishat. Once, Thathacharya brought the Archakar of the Vishnu temple by giving away hundreds of gold coins to him. So in this way, he brought the temple Archaka under his control, and he instructed him very secretly. Gudhameva Adishata. So he instructed him secretly. Archaka. Bhagavat Seva Vasare Peetham Prasada Vitarana Chalena Smarta Dhurandharebhyaha Dikshitendrebhyaha Vishatirtham Pradehi. He Archaka, Bhagavat Seva Vasare, when Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra comes to have darshan of Bhagavan, at the time of Bhagavan's darshanam, under the Prittavaga, Tirtha Prasada Vitarana Chalena, under the pretext of offering Tirtha Prasadam, Smarta Dhurandharebhyaha Dikshitendrebhyaha, to Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, who's one of the strongest among the Smartas. Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra was a beacon of Smarta Brahmana orthodoxy. From the Rameshwaram to the Himalayas, he was one of the most formidable Advaita Vidyacharyas, one of the most important Advaita Vidyacharyas in all times to come. So, Smarta Dhurandharebhyaha Dikshitendrebhyaha Vishatirtham Pradehi. Offer Tirtham that is mixed with Visham. So, Vishatirtham means Vishena Yuktam or Vishena Jushtam Tirtham is Vishatirth. Sopi Bhavan Niyogam Ashunyam Karomi iti Pratibhashya. The Archaka also replied Thathacharya that I shall accomplish your task successfully. Sandarbha pratikshana paraha asa. And he was waiting for the right time to administer poison to Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. Jatu Dikshitendraha Mahavyatipata Dine Shivalaye Saparivaram Chandrasekharam Asevya Shivarchaka Pradiyamanam Vibhutim Parigrihya Harinilaye Shriyaspatim Asevanta. On the day of Purnima, or on the day of Mahavyatipata or new moon, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra visited the Shivalayam along with his family members. Saparivaram means along with family members. Chandrasekharam Asevya. He worshipped Bhagavan Chandrasekhara, Bhagavan Shiva. Shivarchaka Pradiyamanam Vibhutim Parigrihya. And he accepted Vibhuti Prasadam that was given by the Shivacharya. And then he went on. And then he went to visit Varadaraja Swami temple. So it was in Vellore, Jalakantheshwara temple. After having darshanam in Jalakantheshwara temple, he then visited Varadaraja Perumal temple in Vellore. Harinilaye Shriyapatim Asayavanta. And he worshipped Bhagavan Hari in Swami Varadaraja's temple. Tada Vaishnavārchakaha Kampamana Panitalaha Sajjikrita Purvam Vishatitham Tebhya Prayachatu. At that time, the Vaishnavārchaka, when he was about to give Tirtha Prasadam to Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, his hands started trembling in fear. He was completely overcome by fear. He was perturbed with fear. Tat cheshtitam adhijanantopite Bhagavad Angasanga Paripūtam Sakalaghavga Haranakshamam Tat Tirtham Abhidhyayantaha Evamavadishu. So on seeing the Archaka, on seeing his body language, on seeing his face expressions, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra knew that there is something wrong with him. So when he began to tremble in fear, at the time of giving Tirtha Prasadam, Dikshitendra could sense that something was mixed with the Tirtha. And after saying this, he spoke the following shloka. Arir mitram vishampathyam dukkhicha sukhashevadhi ankule jagannathe viparite viparyayaha. When Bhagavan Jagannatha is, when Lord Vishnu is in favor of a person, Arihi. And then entities like enemy, entities like poison. So all of these, so they act in the opposite way. When Bhagavan's kripa is there, so when a person has Bhagavan on his side, enemy will not be able to act against him. The poison will not be able to act against him. Ityuktvacha Pashyatameva sarvesham purastat nandanandanaha navanitamiva Shrikanthaha kalakutamivacha tattirtham apibandha. So in the midst of all those who were seeing him, he consumed the Tirtha Prasadam, just like the son of Nandagopal, Lord Krishna, would consume a piece of butter, and just like Lord Shiva consumed the deadly poison of halahala or kalakuta. So in the same way, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra consumed the Tirtha Prasadam that was mixed with poison. Ugravegam api tat tirtham tat jataram pravishya jiryati sma. Although that poison was extremely horrible, although it was highly potent, on reaching the stomach of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, it got digested. Evam amanusham tan mahimanam samakarnya Chinna Bomma Visishmaya. On hearing this feat of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, which cannot be achieved by any ordinary human, Chinna Bomma Nayakkar became so surprised with Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. Kadarthi kritodvyamaha sa Thathacharya Shisham Antaratapyata. On seeing that his plan was spoiled, Thathacharya started fuming within himself. With this, the ninth topic of third Tarangam gets over, and we step into the last and the 10th topic of Tarangam 3, that is Nirmalya Vichara. Deliberation on the Nirmalyam that is offered to Parameshwara. One says K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal, Kadachita Shiva-nirmalyam sarvaihi pariharyam iti Thathacharyena rahasibodhitaha Chinna Bomma sabhyam evam vyajikyapat. Once, Chinna Bomma Nayakkar was instructed by Thathacharya secretly, Shiva-nirmalyam sarvaihi pariharyam. So the nirmalyam that is offered to Parameshwara should be neglected and it has to be rejected by all. On hearing this, he spoke to the four panditas. Mahantaha, O great men, Shiva-nirmalyam parigrahyam uta parityajyam. Which one of this is true? Should Shiva-nirmalyam, the nirmalyam of Lord Shiva, be accepted or it has to be rejected? So which one of these two is wise? Yataha ubhayadhapi panditaha abhiprayanti. Because we see panditas holding two different opinions on this. One group of scholars have the opinion that the nirmalyam that is offered to Lord Shiva must be accepted. The other group of panditas have the opinion that the nirmalyam that is offered to Parameshwara should be rejected and it should never be accepted. Tatra sapramanam nirnetavyam bhavadbhihi iti. So now it is your duty to come to a nirnaya, to come to a conclusion using Shastra Pramana. Using many different pramanams from the Shastras, it is your duty to now come to a conclusion as to whether nirmalyam of Lord Shiva could be accepted or it could be rejected. Tada muki bhuteshu sarveshu vagvinaha dikshitendraha pramana parishkritan lokantarayamasu. When all the scholars were silent, when nobody gave an answer to the Raja, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra, who was an excellent speaker, so he started quoting hundreds of shlokas in support of the fact that the nirmalyam of Parameshwara could be accepted. Athacha prasaktanuprasatya sadasyaihi prishtanam prashnanam nirnitam uttaram vitarantaha Srimad Appayya Dikshitendraha Shritishasya pramodam ajanayan. So when the Vakyartham took place, he started asking many different questions to Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. Scholars from both sides. When he gave appropriate answers to each of the questions, the king was very much happy with Dikshitendra. So with this, the third Tarangam gets over, and now we move on to the fourth Tarangam of Dikshitendra Vijayam. So the name of the fourth Tarangam is Shastra Grantha Pracharanam, propagation of the Shastra Grantha. So this is the name of the fourth Tarangam. And in the fourth Tarangam, the very first topic that is discussed is Vishapani. Once again, Dikshitendra was made to consume poison. Jatu Vichakshanagana Parimandite Sadasi Nīlakaṇṭha Shabdartha Vichara Pravartishta Tada Dikshitendraha Kalakutopadruta Sakala Nilipasharani Tatasya Sadashivasya Vibhuti Pratipadakam Bhagavata Shlokam Vāṅmukha Purasaram Yarupayan. Jatu, once upon a time, Vichakshanagana Parimandite Sadasi, in the Sabha, which had many different scholars, which were so in such a Sabha, so a Vakyartha took place, and in that Vakyartha, the scholars discussed the meaning of the word Nīlakaṇṭha. Tada Dikshitendraha, at that time, Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra explained the meaning of the word Nīlakaṇṭha. And Kalakutopadruta Sakala Nilipasharani Kritasya. He quoted a particular shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. And in that shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, so in chapter, the 8th Skandam of the Bhagavatam, so we have the Samudra Mathanam Adhyayam. So in Samudra Mathanam Adhyayam, so this is very, very important. So Bhagavan Vishnu was present in the field of Samudra Mathanam. So he was present as Kurmavatara. So upon the Prishtabhagam of Kurmavatara, the mountain of Mandara was placed. The Devas were holding one end of Vasuki. The other end of Vasuki was held by Asuras. So one end was held by Devas, the other end was held by Asuras. So in this way, the Asuras and Devas, they started churning the ocean. Even after churning the ocean, the Samudram, over and over again for many hours, they kept churning it. Even in spite of the best among Devas and Asuras working, so the poison did not emerge. So once again, Lord Vishnu had to take another avatara in the same place as Ajita Bhagavan. And as Ajita, he started churning. So he asked all the Devas to stay away. He also asked the Asuras to stay away. So he caught the head end of Vasuki as well as the tail end of Vasuki. So with both hands, Ajita Bhagavan started churning it with great force. And only when Bhagavan Narayana started churning it, the ocean started becoming agitated. And only when Bhagavan Narayana started churning it, all the aquatics within the Samudram, so they started getting agitated and they started coming towards the shore. And the very first substance, the very first entity that emerged out of the Samudram was Halahala Visham, the Visham known as Halahala. So when the Halahala Visham emerged from Samudram, nobody was able to tolerate the Viryam or the potency of it. Lord Brahma started becoming perturbed, all the Asuras and the Devas started getting perturbed. All the Yakshas, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Charanas, Siddhas, or the Maharshis, even Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu in the form of Ajita, even they started becoming perturbed. At this time, all the Devas along with Ajita Bhagavan Narayana in the form of Ajita, and Lord Brahma, so they took shelter of Lord Parameshwara. And this shloka has been described in the following shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the eighth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in chapter 7, the Ashtama Skandham, this shloka has been mentioned. Tadugravegam Vishidishyuparyadho Visarpadutsarpadasahya Viryam Hita Prajadudruvu Rangaseshvaraha Arakshyamanāha Sharanam Sadashivam. And K.V. Subramanya Shastri says Sadashivasya Vibhuti Pratipadakaha Bhagavata Shlokaha. So this particular shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam glorifies the greatness of Sadashiva. And Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra illustrated the meaning of this shloka from his Mukhakatha. So, Tadugravegam Dishidishyuparyadhaha. Ugravegam means, so the word Vegaha means the ability to penetrate into the system, into any biological system. So that is Vegaha. This Kalakuta is described as Ugravegam because it has the ability to spread very fastly into the bodies of all living entities. Dishi in all directions it started spreading. Uparyadhaha. So it started spreading in all 10 directions very fastly. Asahya Viryam. So the Viryam of this Kalakuta can never be tolerated by anyone, even by Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. It could not be tolerated. And Hita Prajaha Dudruvuhu He Anga. So here Shuka Maharshi, so he addresses Parikshit Maharaj as Anga. The word Anga means a person who is born of very high lineage. So he is addressed as Anga. Hey Parikshit Maharaja, Prajaha Hitaha Dudruvuhu. So all living entities, they started getting overcome with fear and they started running here and there. And Seshvaraha Arakshyamanāha Santaha Seshvaraha Sadashivam Sharanam Dudruvuhu. So when there was nobody to help them, so when there was nobody to protect them at this hour, Seshvaraha. So the word Ishvara here refers to Brahma and Vishnu. So the word Ishvara, Ishvarabhyam Sahitaha Seshvaraha. So here Ishvarabhyam means along with two Ishvaras, Brahma and Ajita. So along with Brahma and Ajita, so they started taking shelter of Sadashiva. So this is very, very important. And Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra quotes this shloka in his text known as Purva Mimamsa Vada Nakshatramala. So there is one particular, so this is an advanced text in Purva Mimamsa and Vedanta. So the first chapters have, so they deal with topics on Purva Mimamsa. And some chapters, they're an integration of Purva Mimamsa and Vedanta. And the final chapter, so they deal with purely Advaita Vedanta. And in the first chapters, I know where Purva Mimamsa Vicharas have been discussed by Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. So he would have kept Mimamsa Shastram as Purva Paksham and Siddhantam as Srikanthacharya's philosophy. So that is how he would have written it. So there is one particular chapter. Gauroham ityadi pratitya vishayatva shanka nirasarthantar yami shaktivadaha. So this is one chapter in Purva Mimamsa Vada Nakshatramala. So there in one particular place he quotes this shloka. And this shloka has also been, so though not this shloka, the whole of this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Chapter 7 of the 8th skandam of Bhagavatam. So that has been beautifully condensed by Dikshitendra and his Gangadhara Ashtam. Just like how Durga Chandra Kala-stuti of Dikshitendra is, so I mean this Durga Chandra Kala-stuti, Dikshitendra has beautifully condensed many chapters of the whole of Devi Mahatmyam in shlokas 2 to 8, and then selected chapters of Varaha Puranam in 9th and 10th shlokas, and then selected chapters of Harivamsham, selected chapters of Vishnu Puranam, selected one particular chapter of Śiva-mahimakalikā-stuti, and 2 specific chapters in the 10th skandam of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this way, so Durga Chandra Kala-stuti contains the essence of these portions of the Puranas. In the same way, this there is a wonderful stotram known as Gangadhara Ashtakam written by Dikshitendra. So in this Gangadhara Ashtakam, the very first shloka is a condensation of chapter 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam's Ashtama skandha. So it goes on like this: Kshiramdhonidhi manthanodbhava vishat sandahyamanam suran brahmadin avalokyayah karunaya halahalakyam visham vishankam nijalilaya kabalayan lokan rarakshadarat artatrana parayanas bhagavan gangadharo me gatihi. Kshiramdhonidhi manthanodbhava vishat. So yaha halahalakyam visham kabalayan nija leelaya lokan adarat raksha saha artatrana parayanaha bhagavan gangadharaha me gatihi. So the whole of chapter 7 has been condensed here. So yaha, so that Lord who consumed the deadly poison known as halahala nijalilaya. So the word nijalilaya means atmiyena vilasena, as a pastime he consumed the halahala visham, and by consuming this halahala visham lokan adarat raraksha, so he protected all the world from the effects of that halahala visham. Saha artatrana parayanaha bhagavan gangadharaha me gatihi. So that Lord Gangadhara, who is extremely devoted to the protection of his devotees, of those devotees who are in distress. So that Bhagavan Gangadhara is my refuge. And then he says why the Parameshwara consumed the poison. Shriramdhonidhi manthanodbhava vishat sandahyamanan brahmadin suran karunaya avalokya. So he consumed the deadly poison out of his compassion. So out of his causeless mercy for all living entities, he consumed the deadly poison. And it is this same daya which is also required at all times. This Bhagavan's daya which Dikshitendra describes here, it is that daya that is going to give Advaita Jnanam and eventually Mukti. So even that Nīlakaṇṭha Dikshitendra beautifully explains in his commentary on Shiva Tattva Rahasyam. So in his Shiva Tattva Rahasyam, Mahakavi Shri Nīlakaṇṭha Dikshitendra explains that very beautifully. And even Shri Sridhara Aiyar, Sridhara Venkatesha Dikshitendra, so he has explained the mercy of Parameshwara in 100 shlokas known as Daya Shatam. So that daya of Bhagavan is required at all times by all living entities, by those living entities who keep moving here and there within this ocean of samsara, and even by those living entities who wish to cross this ocean of samsara. So all living entities require that daya of Bhagavan, and impelled by this karuna or daya, Bhagavan consumed the poison. So Kshiramdhonidhi Mantanodbhava Vishata means Guravedat Garat and Sandahyamana. So all living entities who were tormented, Brahmadin. So Brahma, so all living entities headed by Brahma, Vishnu and others, Vishnu in the form of Ajitar and others, Brahmadin, Surana, Devana, Karunaya, so out of mercy. So when he looked at them with mercy, he felt that he must consume the poison. And this shloka in Bhagavatam says that the Visham, the Halahala Visham is Ugravegam and Asahyam. How did Bhagavan consume this toxin? Nishankam. So the word Nishankam means Shanka means trasaha or fear. Tasyaha abhavaha Nishanka. So without any fear, he consumed the poison. And this is it. And this attribute of Parameshwaran has been glorified by Dikshitendra in his Brahmatarkastava. Gangadhrita anubhavata Śiva-pavanīti Nasvadito madhura ityapi kalakūtaha samrakshanaya jagatam karunatirekat karmadvayam kalitameta ananyasartyam. Hey Shiva, you did not wear Ganga on your head because Ganga is going to purify your existence. But it is by the association of your Shiras that Ganga has become purified, and Ganga has the ability to purify millions and millions of souls for millions of years to come. It is because of association with your Shiras. And in the same way, Nasvadito madhura ityapi kalakūtaha, you did not consume the deadly poison of Halahala because it appears to be like a piece of sweet. Etat karmadvayam kalitam, so ananyasadhyam. So both of these feats were performed by you because nobody else can perform them. Only you are capable of bearing the force of Ganga in the whole world. And in the same way, only you are capable of digesting the deadly poison of Halahala. And itara sadhya karma karatvam. So this attribute of Parameshwara is that, so that is the reason he was able to consume the deadly poison of Halahala. And says K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal, Atrahi Trimurtyuttirna Nistraygunya Shivabhidhana Parabrahma Rupa Paramatma Tattvataya Tasya Kailasavasinaha Shrikanthasya Rudrasya Shiva Vibhuti Visheshasya Prajapati Bhikrite Stotre Kalakuta Samharanamidam Brahmadinamapyasatyam. In this particular shloka, the word Sadashiva, the word Sadashivam has been used. And who is this Sadashiva who is referred to in this shloka? So he says, Trimurtyuttirnaha, that supreme being who has transcended the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, so the Sattva, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. That supreme being who has transcended the three modes of material nature and Nistraigunya, it is devoid of all the modes of material nature. It is devoid of the three gunas. It is devoid of and then Shivabhidhana Parabrahma Rupa Paramatma Tattvataya. That Saguna Brahman in the aspect of Lord Shiva, and that Saguna Brahman is being addressed here. And Tasya Kailasavasinaha, of that Saguna Brahman who has taken its residence in Kailasa Parvata, Tasya Shrikanthasya Rudrasya. So the word Shrihi Kantheyasya Saha Shrikanthaha. So the word Shrihi, so this word it appears in the Shankari Samhita of Skanda Purana. In the 108 holy names of Lord Shiva, so there is a dialogue between Gauri Devi and Lord Narayan. And Lord Narayana instructed Gauri Devi on the 108 names of Lord Shiva, and by chanting these holy names repeatedly, Devi attained one half of the Lord's of Parameshwara's body, and together they came to be known as Ardhanarishwara thereafter. And among these 108 holy names of Lord Shiva, one holy name is Srikanṭha. In his commentary on this text, Mahakavi Shri Nīlakaṇṭha Dikshitendra, who was the grandson of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra's younger brother, Achan Dikshitendra, he has written a Sanskrit commentary on this. So he says that the word Shri means Kalakuta Janita Shobha. So the word Shri refers to the complexion of Parameshwara's neck, and the complexion that occurred as a result of his consuming Hala Visham. So Shri Rupa Kalakuta Janita Shobha Shrihi Yasya Kanṭha Saha Shri Kanṭha. So in this way, even if poison gets lodged in Bhagavan's limb, even a poison becomes an ornament for him. So that is the reason we call him as Nīlakaṇṭha. That is the reason we call him as Shitidana, the Shruti. No, we shouldn't say we call him, we don't give him names. It is the Shruti that gives him name. The word Shitikanṭha is there in the Veda. So we have the word Nīlakaṇṭha is there. The word Srikanṭha, so it is Shruti, so it is Mother Bhava, Vedamata, who has to show us who Bhagavan is. So only when Vedamata shows us, we'll have to take shelter of Vedamata and then know Bhagavan. So it's like we do not give him any names. So all these are names given that are there found in the Shruti Vakyam. So the word Srikanṭha means Nīlakaṇṭha or Shitikanṭha. Tasya Rudrasya Shiva Vibhuti Visheshasya. So of that particular form, the form of that supreme being as Lord Shiva, Prajapati Bhikkrite Stotre. So there is a stotra made by the Prajapatis. So the word Prajapati here refers to all living entities in all the planetary system. So all the 14 planetary system, Bhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam, all the upper planetary systems and the lower planetary systems, Attala, Sutala, Vitala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala. So all of these planetary systems, so all living entities who reside in all of these planetary systems, so they are referred to as Prajapatis. And even in that particular chapter, Prajapatayaha Uchuhu. So that is how the stuti begins. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that there are many stutis. So starting from the first skandam, we have Kunti stuti, and then we have Bhishma stuti, and then we have Kardama stuti. So Jushtam Patadya, Khilasatvarashe, Samsidhyamakshnoho, Tavadarsananaha, Oror Skandatala, Oror Aramikyu. And then the Dashama Skandam Patona, we have Akrura stuti. Yekachakamana stutigal we have in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the same way, one of the most all stutis we have on Lord Vishnu, because Srimad Bhagavatam basically is a Purana Grantha that is devoted to the Nirupana of Gunas, Mahimas, Vibhuti, Vaibhavam of Lord Narayana. In such a text, Srimad Bhagavatam, which brings out the Guna Mahima Vibhuti Vaibhavam of Lord Narayana, in such a text, even the Guna Mahima Vibhuti Vaibhavam of Lord Shiva has been described in the same way. So Hari ko Haran ko endha bhedam mein illa appadingiradhu sakshat nama Puranam Srimad Bhagavata Puraname pramanam namak. The worship of Lord Shiva is incomplete without the worship of Lord Vishnu. And in the same way, the worship of Lord Vishnu is incomplete without the worship of Lord Shiva. So a person who worships Lord Vishnu with devotion should also worship Lord Shiva. The person who worships Lord Shiva with devotion should also worship Lord Vishnu. Only then each of them, even only when both the lordships will accept the bhakti of their respective devotees. In this way, even our Vaidika Maharshis themselves had been great devotees of all the devatas without any partiality. So in this way, there is one particular stuti in Srimad Bhagavatam on Lord Shiva. And this stuti was made by the Prajapatis. So it begins saying Prajapatayaha Uchuhu. After you return the stuti aramikku. And Brahmadinam apke sadhyam, and this feat of Srimad Appayya, Appayya Dikshitendra. This feat of Parameshwara is something that cannot be accomplished by anybody else. Ataha Twadeka Sharanaha Vayamagataha iti Yapayitu Muktam iti. So as a result of that, all the Prajapatis, so they addressed to Parameshwara saying that there is nobody else who can give us shelter and it is only you who can give us shelter. And there is one particular shloka which comes in the Prajapati Stuti, Prajapati Krita Shiva Stuti. Nate Giritrak Hilalokapala Virincha Vaikuntha Surendra Gamyam Jyotif Paranyatra Rajastamascha Satvannayat Brahma Nirasta Bhedam. So this is a very beautiful shloka, and without even giving any Sanskrit commentary to it, it is evident that the philosophy of Advaita alone has been accepted by all our Vaidika Maharshis. The words of Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra and his Shivarkamani Deepika, so these are very, very true. Yadyapyadvaita eva Shruti Shikhara Giram Adamanam Chanishta Sakam Sarvai Puranaihi Smritinikar Mahabharatadi Prabandhaihi Tatraiva Brahmasutran Yapishavi Mrishatam Bhanti Vishranti Manti Pratnairacharya Ratnai Rapipari Jagrehe Shankaradya Tadeva. Yadyapi, although Advaite eva, so the consensus of all the Vedic literatures is there in the philosophy of Advaita alone. Advaite eva Shruti Shikhara Giram. Shruti Shikhara, Shrutinam Shikharaha, Shruti Shikharaha. So the pinnacles of all Shrutis, the Vedas, are Shruti Shikharas, means the Upanishads. Shruti Shikhara Giram, he means Vakyam or Vachanam. So in the Upanishad Vakyams of the Upanishad Vakyams, Agamana Upanishad, Shruti Shikhara Giram Nishta means the consensus of all the Upanishadic passages. Agamanam, so the consensus of all the Vedas, Sakam Sarvaihi Puranika, along with all the Mahapuranas and the Upapuranas. And then Smritinikara Mahabharata Prabandhaihi, along with the multitude of Smriti Granthas, that is the texts that go on to form the Smriti literature, along with Mahabharata. Tatraiva Brahmasutran Yapishapi Mrishatam Vishranti Manti Bhanti. Even the Brahma Sutras compiled by Sri Vyasacharya. So even the conclusion of the Brahma Sutras. So to all those scholars who study the Brahma Sutras with astute analysis, even to them, the conclusion of the Brahma Sutras will appear to be on Advaita Vedanta only. And Pratnaihi Acharya Ratnaihi Parijagrihe. Even by the ancient Acharyas, even by the gem among ancient Acharyas like Sri Adishankar Bhagavatpada, that philosophy of Advaita alone has been accepted. And he says this shloka in his commentary on Srikanఠa Shiva Acharya's Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Where or Acharyaloda Sampradayatuka or Periya Tonda Pandirkar Dikshita. And the Acharyaroda Brahma Sutra Bhashyathukku ivar Vyakaranam panni Namba Acharya Nammaloda Shankara Bhagavatpada Rumba Kondadi ezhudittar. Tathapi Anugrahadeva Tarunendu Shikhamane Advaita Vasana Pumsam Avirbhavati Nanyatha. Ivlo irundalu. Although it is very clear that even a mere glance of the Itihasa Puranas, a mere glance of the Mahabharatam, a mere glance of the Brahma Sutras, a mere glance of the Vedas, a mere glance of the Upanishads. So that will make it very clear that the conclusion of all the Vedic literatures is there in Advaita alone. Tathapi, so in spite of that, Tarunendu Shikhamane hai. So only when the mercy of Bhagavan is there on a Jivatma, Advaita Vasana Pumsam Avirbhavati. Only then a Vasana towards Advaita will blossom. So when Nanyatha, so on the contrary, if there is no Kripa of Bhagavan on a person may never develop taste for Advaita. So that is very, very clear in this shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nate giristrakhila lokapala virincha vaikuntha surendra gamyam jyoti paranyatra rajastamascha satvannayat brahma nirasta bhedam. So the supreme being that is being described here is Giritrakhila Lokapala Virincha Vaikuntha Surendra Gamyam. So that supreme being, Virinchi, why Virinchi is Lord Brahma, Vaikuntha is Lord Vishnu, and Surendra all the Devatas. So this supreme being is the ultimate gati of all the Devas themselves. And then Yatra Rajaha Tamaha Sattvam Cha Na Vidyate. So it is within that supreme being, the modes of material nature like Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas do not exist. And Nirasta Bhedam, and this supreme being is devoid of all divarities. The word Bhedam means divarity. And Nirastaha Bhedaha Yasmatu Tata Nirasta Bhedam. And this supreme being is Advayam Brahman. So it is that Advayam Brahman, Advitiyam Brahman, so which has been explained very beautifully by Sri Shankara Bhagavad in his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. And it is very evident that, and one more thing, the other word that is used here is Jyotihi. And this supreme being exists in the form of a Jyoti. And in his Sutra Bhashyam in Antastad Dharmadhikaranam, Acharya says, Syat Parameshwarasyapi Ichhavashat Mayamayam Shariram Sadhakanugrahartham. Even the supreme, although the supreme impersonal Brahman does not have any physical body, it still takes a physical body. Syat Parameshwarasyapi and Ichhavashat. And how does that supreme being accept different bodies? Ichhavashat, by its own ichha or desire, that supreme being takes many different forms. So just like how Jivatmas like you and me, so the physical bodies which we get, it's not because of our choice. So we have taken birth in such and such place, to such and such parents, in such and such species. It is not our choice. Some Jivatmas take birth as dogs, some take birth as cats, some take birth as horses, elephants, some take birth as trees, some take birth as amphibians, some as human beings. So there are so when it comes to life forms, there are variegated life forms in Earth. So each Jivatma has many different yoni, it takes birth in many different yonis. So birth in all of these yonis is not a choice for any Jivatma. So we are impelled by the force of our Purva karmas. But for Bhagavan, it is not the same. So for Bhagavan, so our Sambhavam Yatma Maya, Srimad Bhagavatam, Munavada Skandam Varapa, Swakarma Klesha Choditaha in Kapilopatyanam. So when Kapila Maharshi instructs Devahuti Devi, so there is one chapter in which he describes the journey of a Jivatma inside a human womb. So Pandartula Solrapa Swakarma Klesha Choditaha Surata Bhagavan Kapila Rodatula Solua. So a Jivatma takes birth and he is impelled by the forces of his past karmas, whereas Bhagavan never takes birth like that. And when Bhagavan takes birth, so it is always the form which Bhagavan takes is always Jyotirmayam and Chakshuragrahyam and Jyotirmayam. Chakshuragrahyam means it cannot be perceived by the gross material eyes. And Jyotirmayam, so and it could only be perceived in the form of a Jyotish. and it could only be perceived by those yogi purushas, by those who have Brahma Sakshatkara, those who have realized the Brahman. Only they can see this form of Bhagavan in the form of a Jyotis. And that is described here. Jyotis parayatra rajastamascha. And that is being described by Bhagavad Pada Syat Parameshwarasyapi Ichhavashat Mayamayam Shariram Sadhakanugrahartham. And the same meaning has been conveyed by Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra also. So the same thing that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam here, the same thing that has been described by Sri Adishankara Bhagavad Pada in his Brahma Sutra Bhashyam has also been beautifully explained by Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra in his stotram known as Shikharini Mala. Avlavadagana stotram Shikharini Mala. Gunatito pitvam saguna iva maya shabalitaha Parishkurvan Sambam Bapurasita Kantham Trinema Rumbaraga or Shlokam. Anga ide meaning of the Dikshita Rumbaraga Sulipa. So with this, the explanation to this shloka is over. Atrahi Gunavisheshopadhika Brahma Vishnu Ruddha Bhedarahitam Tat Samashti Rupam Paravashivatmakam Uchyate. So that supreme being which has no difference of any gunas, no difference of any attributes, no difference of any forms, no differences like Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. So that supreme being has been meditated upon in this chapter. And then tada Vaishnava Granihi Thathacharya Swadapita Vishatirtha Panena api Swasthan Sthana Vadachannapi Daiva Choditaha Sopahasam Maha. And when Thathacharya saw this, the leader of the Vaishnavas, Thathacharya, when he saw that Dikshitendra remained unaffected, even after offering a Tirtha Prasadam mixed with poison, he was still not able to accept it. And then Daiva Choditaha, as impelled by providence, he spoke to Dikshitendra in a derisive way. Ho Nīlakaṇṭhopāsakaha Kālakuta Bhakshanenapi Sukhitaha Bhūteshaha Yadi Sarvadevata Tarhi Tat Paramya Nirupana Paranam Bhavatamapi Tathacharanam Kimu Sushakam. Ho Nīlakaṇṭhopāsakaha. No. Hey, worshipper of Nīlakaṇṭha, if you say that Lord Shiva is the supreme, the supreme being, just because he consumed the deadly poison of Kalakutam and remained unaffected, if that is true, so by going by your arguments, if it is true that Lord Shiva is the supreme being, is it possible for you also to do the same and remain unaffected? And then says K.V. Subramanya Shastrigal, Tad avahelana vachanamapi bahumanayantaste makhindraha tadanukshanameva kasvamshayaha iti pratyahu. So Dikshitendra took even the words of words of Thathacharya very seriously, and these words were spoken by Thathacharya to make fun of Dikshitendra. He even took those words seriously and he replied to Thathacharya saying, wow. There is no doubt about it. Kaha samishah enna sandeha irukadilla. Tadyaha eva sa Thathacharyaha sajjita purvam garam sadasi samaninaya. Immediately, the very next second itself, Thathacharya brought a deadly poison into the Vidvat Sabha, as if everything was prepared, as if he had a lethal toxin ready in hand. Immediately, the very next second, he asked his servants to bring poison, and he handed the poison to Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. Tada Dikshitendraha Bharayantam Narendram Samadhaya Karatalena Tadanitam Garalamadaya Śiva-mahimakalikā-stuti Rasakhandam Balakaha Iva Jagdva Śiva-mahimakalikā-stuti Kanchana Granthan Jagranthu immediately tada Dikshitendra, even Chinna Bomma Nayakkar, he started preventing Dikshitendra from consuming the poison. Dikshitendra did not pay, he did not listen to the words of Chinna Bomma Nayakkar, and he immediately accepted the poison that was brought to him by Thathacharya. He took the poison in his hand. Shivam antarnidhyaya. He meditated upon Lord Shiva within his mind. And just as a small child would eat a piece of sweet, he consumed the deadly toxin. And nothing happened to Srimad Appayya Dikshitendra. And at this time, he composed wonderful stotras like Śiva-mahimakalikā-stuti, Brahmatarkastava, and Shikharini Mala. So, ரொம்ப அழகான ஸ்தோத்திரம் இந்த Śiva-mahimakalikā-stuti 24 ஸ்லோகங்கள் தான், and every shloka has two meanings. One is primary meaning, the other one is a hidden meaning. The primary meaning appears to be a stotram on Parameshwara, and the hidden meaning appears to be a stotram on Jyotishtoma Yagam. So there is an alankara. So in Sanskrithatla alankara shastram no undo. So figures of speech சொல்றோம் இல்லையா நம்ம, அந்த மாதிரி the figures of speech அப்படிங்கிறது ரொம்ப அழகா ஒரு சம்ஸ்கிருதத்துல உண்டு, and that is known as alankara. And in those alankaram there is something known as artha shlesha alankara. Shlesha alankarathula only one set of words are used, and one set of words that are used by the poet, so they will give two or more meanings. And using Shlesha Alankara, Dikshitendra has offered a stotram to Parameshwara as well as the Jyotishtoma Yaga. Yatsarva Kratuphaladam, Yachakila Yajnaditaya Mahitam, Yatsakala Deva Rupam, Jyotis Tadupasmahe Somana, அவ்வளோ அழகான ஸ்தோத்திரம், ரொம்ப அழகான மீனிங் இருக்கும் அதுக்கு. இதுக்கு நம்ம மன்னார்குடி பெரியவரா அவர் ஒரு சம்ஸ்கிருத வியாக்கியானம் பண்ணியிருக்கார். மற்ற ஸ்தோத்திரங்களுக்கு Appayya Dikshitendra himself wrote Sanskrit commentaries. For example, for Shikharini Mala, for Brahmatarkastava, for Aditya Stotra Ratnam, for Durga Chandra Kalastuti, for Varadarajastavam, அதே மாதிரி for Pancharatna Stuti. இது எல்லாருக்கும் Dikshitendra himself has written his own Sanskrit commentary. ஆனா Śiva-mahimakalikā-stutiக்கு அவர் எழுதல, அது நல்ல மன்னார்குடி பெரியவா எழுதியிருக்கார். And after this was over, atha sarvepi nūnamayam lokanugrahaya avatirnaha Nīlakaṇṭha eva iti manvanaha pisishmire. So all those who were present in the court, the Rajya Sabha, so everyone became awestruck, and people thought to themselves that he certainly Lord Nīlakaṇṭha, Lord Parameshwara himself, who has descended on the earth to bless the human beings. So with this, topic 1 of Tarangam 4 gets over. So with this we will finish today's class. Hara Namah Parvati Pataye, Hara Hara Mahadeva.